Hi, my name is Rose Reed. I'm an actress, model, entrepreneur, horseback rider, author, and violinist, and I'm only 20 years old. I would love for my grandchildren and for my children to think that they could do anything based on me trying to do everything. And I know it's probably not healthy, but I'm gonna try to do everything. I can. I'm going to. You can. I'm going to. We're all going to. I don't know what the answer is. I wouldn't call horseback riding a hobby. I would call it a lifestyle. I think horses are a lifestyle. I always said that, you know, every girl has a horse phase, has like this little like cowgirl horse phase. I just never grew out of mine. And so I still love riding. I have 7 horses. I train horses when I don't have anything else to do. They have a spirit just like us, and it really is a relationship to work with them. But I've been giving riding lessons to friends and family since I was 10 years old. I opened it up to the public when I was 16 and continued to grow my clientele. I had 60 students by the time that I was 16. I had 60 students. But I definitely prefer the more exciting side of horseback riding. So I got into barrel racing when I was 14, I guess, 14 or 15. Definitely did some rodeo occasionally. Loved the rodeo scene. So I got into writing and working with kind of the books, interior design and everything when I was about 12. Got into just creating stories. It started out very small, and my mom still has some of my original books, which is kind of hilarious. They're really, really terrible, and I never want her to ever pull them out or ever show anyone, but she always threatens them every time anyone comes over. But I just kind of continued from there. I love creating characters and creating these huge story arcs that don't really seem that expansive when you first start reading them, but then kind of just unravel in a really big way near the end. I grew up reading. I have hundreds of books. I go through a book a week, so it just was really good to open up my mind to writing and kind of creating those storylines. I have 5 published books, and I have a 6th that's going to be coming out next year, which I'm very excited about, and it's hopefully going to be a trilogy as long as I can keep things together. Writing is definitely, out of all of my passions, it's definitely my most passionate passion, I would say. And so ever since I was also about 12, I've been making home videos and home movies in which I was the director and of course the lead actress, because no one ever does exactly the way I say for them to do it. So the only way to do a job right is to do it myself. So I always wanted to experiment in film, and like I began to realize that I wasn't a great director because I was a little too mean and thought that my ideas were the greatest, and sometimes they're not. So I pursued acting. I decided that I really liked, you know, just film in general, and acting was the thing that I loved the most about film, so I decided to kind of get my foot in the door in that. I worked on my first project when I was 14. I played this 18-year-old martial artist, which was bizarre. I had to kiss a 30-year-old father, but we looked the same age, so. From there, I just continued to progress. I filmed my first lead role last year in The World We Make, and that's going to be hitting theaters sometime this summer, and it's going to be on Netflix afterward. So we're very excited about that. And then I'm about to leave for Ireland for my 2nd starring role that I'm very excited about. I get to be in Ireland for 2 months. There's not really anything wrong with that.
Really? So how does this work? You're just gonna get on a horse and ride off into the sunset?
This is my dream.
I knew it was a huge field to be trying to get into, but I fortunately had a very, very encouraging dad and someone who would come alongside me and help me and encourage that. It's nice to have people come in and, you know, you're doing really well. Here's this extra push. I loved when people would remind me why I was doing it in the first place and would give me some sort of hope that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. When people would come along and say, I know it doesn't feel like this right now, but you really do have a talent for this and you can push through it if you just stick with it. And sometimes there are so many like dry periods where you just feel like there can't possibly, nothing good can possibly come out of this. I'm doing nothing. I'm just sitting and waiting. But sometimes the sitting and waiting is what brings the most fruit. sitting and waiting is just, I guess, if you want to be that metaphorical, it's giving the seed of that tree time to actually grow, and all of that work, it's giving it time to actually prosper. My name is Rose Reed, and I'm only 20 years old.